안녕하십니까. Dear representatives of Hanguk-Muyuk-Hyope, dear representatives of Korean businesses. My name is Frank Robaschik. Since January of this year, I'm the representative of Germany Trade and Invest, Dokil Muyok Tuja Chinungcho, in Korea. I'm glad to be back here, where I've already been for about 5.5 years from the end of 2008 to mid 2014. When the colleagues of Hanguk-Muyuk-Hyope asked me to join for a presentation on the German business situation, I was hoping this to be a face-to-face meeting. Unfortunately, this is not possible, and I was asked to record this presentation a couple of days in advance. I will try to give you relevant information about the economic and business situation in our country. If there should be questions remaining, please do not hesitate to contact us, also after today's webinar. Germany Trade and Invest is the economic development agency of Germany. It has almost 70 years of experience in helping German companies on foreign markets and more than 20 years of experience in helping foreign companies in Germany. The major services foreign companies wishing to settle in Germany can get from Germany Trade and Invest are the provision of market intelligence about the industry you want to invest in Germany and project management support to ensure an optimal market entry, as well as the prior identification of legal and tax issues and the support in the development of a financing strategy, also using public support funds available in Germany. And last but not least, also the organization and the coordination of location visits and also help with filing public applications, etc. These services are free of charge as we are financed by the German government. Germany is the largest market and the largest economy in the EU 27. Last year, it accounted for nearly a quarter of its GDP and close to a fifth of its population. As to the effects of COVID-19 pandemic on the German economy, similar to Korea, most hit are airlines, hotels and restaurants. Less affected is construction, which year on year was still growing in April, even though not at a speed of more than 10% as it did in January. But I think that you're more interested in manufacturing. Here you can see that the pandemic has caused substantial decline in the demand for German manufacturing, which had remained stable over the last 3 years. If you have a closer look by industry, you'll see that chemical and pharmaceutical industry, as well as the electric and electronic industry, are doing relatively well, while producers of transport equipment and also metal industry are hit hard. Orders in machinery declined in February to April by about 14%, with the largest decline in April, which was about 30%. The business climate has worsened significantly in March and even more so in April, with the shutdown and the lockdown. But it has improved somewhat in May, and I'm sure it will further improve in June with the further relaxation of the limitations imposed to fight the coronavirus. If you look at the latest official GDP forecast issued by the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Energy, you will see that we expect a significant decline of our GDP of 6.3% this year. But already in 2021, we expect growth again, so we will probably not yet reach the level of 2019. As in Korea, the largest declines are expected in consumption of households and in exports. If you look at the EU forecast published a bit later than the forecast for Germany, you see that Germany will be less hit than the EU average, especially than Italy and Spain, which have been hit most by the virus. Germany already in March 2020 introduced a so-called protective shield for Germany, further relaxing the already generous regulations on short-time work so that the companies can keep their employees and offering to provide massive liquidity through the Economic Stabilization Fund in case of necessity for relevant companies. For SMEs, 50 billion euro in immediate help were offered. Even more interesting is the recent financial package of the beginning of this month. The German government, which was reducing the public debt of Germany for many years, has decided to go for a deficit in 2020 and to support the economy with a new fiscal package of 130 billion euro. That is roughly 4% of German GDP. Here, you'll find measures that will help the whole economy, including importers, such as the temporary reduction of the value-added tax from 19 to 16% until the end of this year. The government sets an incentive for businesses to invest more by improving the tax deductibility of investment in machinery and similar things. Even more than in Korea, the package has a green part, which is about 6 billion euro to go into electric vehicle subsidies and the electric vehicle infrastructure as well as batteries. Germany has announced its hydrogen strategy on 10th of June and will use 7 billion euros on it, as well as 2 billion euros in cooperation with third countries in this field. The major focus is green hydrogen and to build hydrogen production facilities of 5 gigawatt by 2030, including the needed onshore and offshore renewable energy facilities to feed it through these renewable energies. Other focuses will also sound familiar to you, such as 5G networks, quantum technology, and artificial intelligence. A stronger focus than in Korea is put on the energy efficient renovation of buildings. And a further focus is the improved tax deductibility of R&D for 5 years up to 2025, the support of ongoing public-private research, and R&D in future transport equipment. An industry that, similar to Korea, is hit by COVID-19 is automobile industry. Even though sales improved somewhat in May, we are still at about minus 50% compared to the same months last year. And the major reason why I chose to once again come to automobile industry is that there will be a big change starting next year. The EU enforces a new fleet-wide average emission target from 2021, which will be at 95 grams of CO2 per kilometer. This, according to the EU, corresponds to a fuel consumption of about 4.1 liter per kilometer per 100 kilometers in case of gasoline, and 3.6 liters per 100 kilometers in case of diesel. If I recalculate this the way it is normally presented in Korea, this means an average about 24 or 28 kilometers per liter of fuel. This is a lot. For comparison, the new Avante in its most fuel-efficient version, according to Hyundai Motor, has 15 kilometers per liter. So a bit more than half of what is, or 2/3 of what is demanded by the EU, not to talk about the SUVs on the roads. So this means that probably the car manufacturers cannot fulfill this without electric vehicles in their portfolio. So there will be good chances for battery suppliers in Germany and in Europe as a whole. So that is why many investment projects in this field are currently going on in Germany and in Europe. Let me add a word on borders. Germany will reopen its borders on June 16 to EU countries and Switzerland. Only for countries with more than 15 new infections per 100,000 inhabitants in the last week before the entry, there will remain the obligation to go through a 14-day quarantine. Given the recent data, it might be that someone coming from Sweden might have to go into quarantine, but most EU countries are now below that figure. For third countries, the borders remain closed until the end of June. But starting from July, it is very likely that borders will be opened for further countries, and given Korea's successful fight against COVID-19, I'm optimistic that Korea will be one of the first countries to benefit from this. Apart From the relatively good fiscal situation of Germany, there's another reason why I believe that Germany will be among the countries to successfully fight the economic impact of COVID-19. So this is its high labor productivity, and that the country was using home office as a relatively common tool also before COVID-19. Last but not least, Korean-German trade has risen significantly since the application of the EU-Korea FTA in mid-2011. There were a few exceptions, such as in the year 2016 and 2019, where the exchange fell on both sides. But I would like to draw your attention to the fact that despite COVID-19, in 2020, German trade has been rising so far. While Korea exported far more pharmaceuticals, helping us also fighting COVID-19, Germany has increased its car exports to Korea. Rising on both sides currently are pharmaceuticals. So this is just a few examples. German firms like Merck, Carl Zeiss, Trumpf, and many other machinery producers contribute to the success of Korean industry. This is a clear win-win. And we also welcome you in Germany, which offers some of the most livable cities worldwide. Thank you, dear colleagues of Hamburg Mühlke OP, for the opportunity to present on the current economic developments in Germany. Dear participants, if you should have any questions also after this webinar, you can reach us under the phone number indicated below. Wishing you, all participants, and your companies good health and good business with Germany. If we can support you, please do not hesitate to approach us. 감사합니다.